Published 12/28 EDT, the 14th of August 2017. Updated 12/28 EDT, the 14th of August 2017. These fascinating images show the men and women who served in the Royal Air Force in India and Burma during the Second World War. They were taken by a now deceased RAF serviceman during the war years, and found among his private papers discovered by his daughter during a home move. The photographs, found after 70 years in a tin trunk, have now been turned into an illustrated diary of the years 1942 to 1946. Cheery chaps. Two RAF soldiers are pictured on a rickshaw pulled by a man in ceremonial clothing and headdress. Men on the ground. The photos mainly depict the lives of the RAF ground crew during the war in Burma and India. Wartime serving in Asia was a life-changing experience for the young British soldiers. Corporal Peter Westlake Walker was stationed in India and Burma, but was soon deprived of his pilot's license due to being colorblind. Grounded and made to do maintenance work, Corporal Westlake Walker took some 500 photographs during his time overseas. His main duty in India was maintaining and fixing depleted aircraft, while in Burma he was also used as a cargo handler and stretcher bearer, having to land and take off in the most hazardous of conditions on short bush strips hacked out of the Japanese-infested jungle. Now, his daughter Elizabeth Dent has compiled some of them into a book called Clipped Wings. Young, smiling servicemen pose for a photograph outside barracks at an unknown location. A pilot sits in his plane ready for takeoff during the later war years. 19,421,946. The photographs taken by Corporal Peter Walker were found by his daughter some 70 years after the war when her mother was moving home. Documentary. Corporal Walker took some 500 photographs during the years he served abroad. Read all about it. Elizabeth Dent has compiled some of her father's photographs from the war into a book called Clipped Wings. Dent says that, other than telling her a few stories when she was a child, her father didn't speak to anyone about his time in the war. As the youngest child, Dad did talk to me about the war, but not to the other two children or apparently to my mother, she said. Although an historian, I knew very little about the Second World War. Most of my knowledge came from the guns of Navarone and South Pacific. Now I know what atrocious conditions those brave soldiers had to endure out in Burma. At the book's semi-official launch, I was really taken back by how many people spoke to me of their fathers, brothers and other relatives who had fought out in the Far East, and everyone without exception said they never spoke about it. Leisure. One serviceman has a shower while another can be seen reading a magazine. Time off. Smiling Britons pose in front of the Taj Mahal in India. In some images, Japanese soldiers can be seen surrendering in the Burmese capital of Rangoon, now Yangon in Myanmar, while in other shows Japanese commanders marching through the center of the city. Dent says most of the servicemen struggled with being away from home for over 4 years when most of the youngsters had never been overseas before. Another hardship was the monsoon's continuous torrential rain for days continuously, and they had to work on it all the time. In India there was entertainment and sports laid on, and their bashas had the bare necessities, with Dad even having his own Indian bearer. But everything was a lot more basic in Burma. Water had to be collected in drums, tents erected and clearings hacked out of the jungle, pretty much non-existent washing facilities.